Today I'm just taking some time to show you these Prussian Napoleonic Landwehr Cavalry that I've just completed for my 28mm collection. They're all metal Perry miniatures, although I replaced the soft metal spears with hardened steel alternatives, I think from North Star Figures. I think I got them from eBay, and those were 100mm length, but I cut them down to an appropriate size. And then the pennants, the small flags, are from GMB. They're meant to represent a couple of squadrons of the 2nd Neumark Landwehr Cavalry to go with my growing Prussian collection of Tauenstein's 4th Prussian Corps for the 1813 campaign. And as such, they've got red facings and trim, as you can see on some of the figures here. And also around the saddlery as well. And then to differentiate the fact there's a couple of different squadrons, the two bases here on the left-hand side have got yellow epaulets, or yellow shoulder straps, not epaulets. And then these two on the end here have got white to denote the fact they're from two different squadrons. I didn't split one on one base because I thought I didn't really like the idea of doing that. And yeah, I've really enjoyed painting them. They have taken a little bit longer because cavalry figures just take me a lot longer. The horse takes as long to paint as the rider. Perhaps I need to find a way of shortening that process. Nevertheless, they've been very enjoyable to paint. Love Perry sculpts as always. These did not have any particular cleanup issues when it came to the miniatures. The exception is there were a little bit of miscasting detail on some of the horse faces that I found that was slightly impossible to rectify, but largely hidden by the position of their heads and the paint that went on to conceal that. But yeah, very much enjoyed doing them. It's actually a challenge in itself to take miniatures that you think have got perhaps plainer uniforms to some of the more decorative or gaudy uniforms of the period, and to paint them in a pleasing way. You'd think it'd be quicker, but actually I find that whilst it doesn't always take as much time, it can take a similar amount of time to some units, simply because getting a flat tone of a single colour like these dark blue Litvakers to look sort of the right shade and have the right highlights to move and pop on the table and on camera as you see them now is quite difficult to do, and my version of it is a bit more muted and understated and perhaps doesn't easily show up unless under the best light conditions. So you might want to explore different ways of painting that to make it pop up, and I've seen other people do some really, really good versions of more bland, if you like, colours like dark blue and really make them pop on the tabletop. But I was very satisfied with these. There are only, with the upright lances in the packs, 3 face variations, as you can see here, but I've tried to mount them on different horses. And also to break up that repetition by painting the horses themselves different colours as well. There's no getting away from the fact that there are similar cast sculpts in this or similar faces. However, you can sort of distract the mind's eye a little bit by creating variation using other things, like I say, like colouring the horses slightly differently, or giving them different hair colours is a bit more difficult because most of the hair is obscured here. My intention next is to finish the half-dozen Kalp miniatures Landwehr Cavalry that I've got. I've already painted the riders up. I just need to do the saddle cloths and throws and the horses themselves, which will probably take another 2 weeks. And then I'll showcase those and actually match them alongside as a complement to an earlier video I did when there were bare castings to compare them, just to compare and contrast them and look at the differences between the ranges, really. So I'll hope to bring that video out in the very near future, and those will also go into my Prussian collection as the Berlin squadrons of what was to become the 4th Neumark Landwehr Cavalry. And kudos to the Napoleonic Wargamer group on Facebook for giving me that information and finding out some of the uniform details which I wouldn't otherwise have had. I hope you've enjoyed this quick look at this completed unit, and I hope to see you again in the next video. And in the meantime, happy hobbying.